What's up, everybody? Peter McKinnon here. Welcome to Toronto. Today we're talking about low light photography. I know it doesn't really look low light right now. It's because it's the middle of the day. It is like 11:30. I just need to find out where to pay for parking, which had to park like 100 miles away because the underground was too low for this truck. We're here at my friend John Simo's studio, which is called Neon Demon. You may have seen it in vlogs before. This guy's found like every possible neon sign known to man. I'm pretty sure every sign that has ever existed that's neon is in his studio. So let's go check it out and talk about low light photography. This is a fun building. Oh, there he is. Whoa, dude, look at the color that comes out of that room. The first thing he asks me is if I want a coffee. Yes, dude, yes. Having a great time. Let's get down to the brass tacks of things. When you are taking low light photography, when you're taking pictures in low light settings, the biggest thing people are always running into is either the photos are too noisy or they're blurry because everything's moving too fast and your shutter speed's not fast enough to keep up with the movement. Those are usually like the biggest culprits of, having difficulty shooting something in low light. Like I just said, shutter speed's gonna be one of the things you wanna keep in mind all the time. When you're shooting in low light, try to always double your focal length. If you're shooting with a 50 mil, try to make sure your shutter speed's at least at 100 millimeters. That's gonna at least give you relatively decent speed to keep up with what's happening in a scene. Now, a lot of people will say like, my kids are indoors, it's at night and they're running around, or my pets are running around, I try to take a photo and then they're half blurry because they're moving through the scene. You have a dog running through the frame and you snap that photo, but the dog's moving faster than your shutter speed's able to open and close. If you are in a low light situation and you're saying, but Pete, I put my shutter speed to like 1/20, like 1/25 of a second, and then everything's too dark, that's when you have to compensate by adding that fake light, if you will, the ISO. Compensate by bumping that ISO up higher, which lets you in turn make that shutter speed faster. So that's gonna capture photos faster in low light situations by bumping up that ISO. But keep in mind, the higher you bump up that ISO, the more grainy it's gonna get, the more noise you're gonna introduce into your photos. That brings up point number 2. If you're shooting in low light and you have that shutter speed in that sweet spot, your ISO is set to maybe 3200, whatever, maybe even higher, 6400. You get those photos back in the Lightroom and you think, it's a little bit grainy. You can go down to the Luminance Adjustment. That's on the right side, right here. I'll show you. If you move that luminance over a little bit to the right, it's gonna start to smooth out that photo. Don't go too far though. If you go too far with that luminance, you'll just look like a plastic, balloon. You'll just look like a balloon animal. Everything will look terrible. Make sure you're in that nice sweet spot, because sometimes a little bit of noise, a little bit of grain actually looks good in a photo. There's a lot of times I'll add grain to something to give it a more stylized texture. You guys hear me say texture all the time. So that would be point number 2, is making sure that you use your luminance adjustments within Lightroom to compensate for those noisy low light photos. So we've got shutter speed, making sure we're at the proper shutter speed, and we got the ISO, making sure we're bumped at the right ISO and using luminance within Lightroom. John just brought up a good point when we're talking about shooting raw. You want to make sure that you're shooting raw, especially in low light situations, because you can really bring a lot back and out of a raw photo, opposed to shooting something like JPEG. So it's great to know the limitations of your camera and how far you can push a raw photo, because something that's shot in camera that looks a little bit too low or underexposed, you would be very surprised as to how far you can bring that raw photo when you are shooting in post after the fact. So a shot that might look like this can then look like that when you're finished, and that's all just moving the data that's stored inside a raw photo, and it's not actually damaging that photo in the process. If you're shooting something like JPEG, you're not gonna be able to have that flexibility without damaging the file and killing that high res that you paid for with the camera that you're using right now. Another tip with shooting in low light is you're gonna wanna make sure you're shooting at a wide open aperture, or as wide open as you can make that lens go, letting in the most amount of light, which lets you shoot at a higher shutter speed. All of this stuff kind of circles back to camera basics that we talked about. I'll link it up there. But those are very important aspects, because if you're shooting at 5.6 or f8, that lens, that opening is so small, letting in such little amounts of light that you're not actually being able to capture anything. So you wanna make sure that you're opening that up nice and wide. Now, lenses that are, have faster apertures, that are wider, they're gonna be more expensive, so that's a little bit of the trade-off. But you use all of these things together to compensate for the lack of light. The shutter speed, the aperture, the ISO, and trusting your raw files. I want to give you guys a quick tour of this Neon Demon studio. It's so awesome. John's put so much work into a bunch of different scenes and signs and restoring things and making it just a sick place to shoot. So full disclosure, like, I've been here for nearly 2 hours and done nothing but like marveled at this stuff. So now it's time to crunch this entire video into the next 20 minutes. But this is the TV scene. All of these TVs turn on and off and display all this cool static, which looks super cool and super stylized. And then above it, you got a neon sign here. That's corner number 1. Number 2, this corner here, the drug sign. The drug sign is a popular favorite amongst lots of Instagrammers and people that come shoot here. It's that neon blue Dope Squad sign color, which obviously I'm a little bit partial to. Also, it's important to note there is a perfectly placed hole in this chain link, which we could refer to as the Instagram chain link hole, because you guys know Instagrammers love shooting through chain link holes. Attention to detail. This is one of my favorite signs. This sign says, "This is Chinese," and I love that. I just think that's really, really funny. This corner here is like the bathroom of like a subway stop after you watched a film and the dude just like killed someone. He's running into the corner to wash the blood off his hands, and he's looking at himself in the mirror, contemplating the choices he's made. That's happening in this corner right here. Here's a closer look of this corner, and then if you just move forward, you get that nice, there's just so many colors. The phone booth, super dope. I fit in it too, like I fit perfectly in this phone booth. Hello. If I bring you in here with me and close the door, you pass me that aerosol. I put this in a vlog maybe 2 years ago now. It looks like, all right, this is the stuff I showed you when we were like doing some like urban exploration, and we used this to, smoke up the, ooh, moody, right? Come on, like that, super cool. Now I gotta figure out how to get out of here. I love how colorful this vlog is gonna be. This is the Lucky sign, and one of my personal favorites. It's just really nice. It's just yellow, it's just crisp. So that's the other side of the phone booth. California sign. Still trying to figure out where this came from. Apparently it was commissioned for a movie. John's trying to figure out what movie it was for, which kind of makes it a little mysterious, really like that. On this side, you have that fake glass wall that you can spray to make it look like it's raining outside. Again, attention to detail. It's those little clever things that make great photos and great videos. Area 51, straight up, get nothing done, stand in this corner and play old school video games all day, all day. So if you ever come shoot here, plan for at least half an hour doing this. Rack of sunglasses, great touch. Put these on, get super awesome photos, and like this, like you just saw. So that's a fun little touch there. Remember that, what is this thing?
So this is my master control unit. I have almost every sign in here rigged up to smart switches.
That's crazy. I don't even have my house rigged like this.
So I can do this. It'll turn off.
Whoa. Oh, so you can really like change the lighting. Like if you want it to all be like nice and blue, then you can just...
Or if you just go like, boom.
Oh, that's sick.
Hey Siri, turn on Area 51.
Done.
Everyone's playing Fortnite, but here we go. You've tried to set this space up so that it tells a story with different neon signs and things like that.
The best part about neon is that it tells a story. It's the only source of light that does that. And finding neon on the street that does just that is really difficult. I wanted to make a space for people to come in and experiment and play and have fun. Man, this is the best. Look at this.
thank you to John for letting me actually shoot here. And do you want to plug just for 2 seconds? Just because we gotta let him plug.
If you live in Toronto or you're just visiting, I'd love for you to come by and see the studio. Like, just hit me up on Instagram, Neon Demon Studio.
Sick, and you're always adding to this spot too, right?
Yeah, like a new sign every couple of weeks.
Oh my goodness, it's so sick. Dude, thanks so much for having us. It's been a blast. Thanks for the coffee, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Peace.
Wow, that was as cool as I thought it would be. I mean, I love my Dope Squad sign, but being in a room filled with that many signs, there's honestly too much to shoot. We only had like 2 hours set for this. I could have easily taken like the entire day in there and just kept shooting. So, John, thank you again, man. That was awesome. More low light photography tips coming at you. You know what, I think a tip for like low light photography that I would just casually give someone would be, don't be afraid to like use the settings that your camera offers. Like, technology these days is so good. Even back 15 years ago when we were shooting with Rebel XTs and like you'd push 800 ISO in low light situations and it would look like you're shooting with sand on your lens. It's like a beach. But now you can shoot 6400 and up and it looks so good. So don't be afraid to pump those settings. Like, that's what you're paying for, is the quality of that sensor, being able to shoot in such low light conditions. Don't not use it because you're afraid that it might be grainy. It's 2018, cameras are meant to do this now. So I would say that's kind of like a casual tip that I would kind of just throw out there, just toss it out there. It's just use your equipment, push it, get what you paid for. Ugh. Started thinking about pulled pork on the way home, stopping for pulled pork. Ooh, they make the best sandwich. I think another important point when we're talking about using cameras in low light is specifically photography. Low light is gonna be a lot less forgiving when you're shooting video. It's a lot harder to mask that. Low light video, when it gets pixelated and starts getting grainy and noisy, is a lot harder to fix and just a lot harder to get to look like quality than when you're shooting photos. You can, you know, sometimes, like I said earlier, low light and grain actually look good in photos sometimes, and it's a lot easier to clean up using Lightroom. So I know this video is titled Low Light Photography, and a lot of these principles sometimes also apply to video, but it is a lot easier to push your gear and your equipment when you are doing photos versus videos. I'm gonna order a pulled pork sandwich. I think that's a smart choice. Oh, so pumped. Oh. Not bad, right? Not bad at all. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you like this video. Smash it if that's something that you're into. 2018 style. Subscribe if you aren't already. And I will see you guys in the next video. I need more neon. Goodbye.